Roche recently announcing the development of a test that can detect antibodies against COVID-19. Joining us right now is Roche's CEO, Severin Schwan. We wanted to welcome him back to the show. Thank you for being here. Tell us about the state of play with this antibody test. There are so many questions about both the quality of the tests themselves and what it means to have antibodies.
Well, we are very excited about our new test. It will be a very reliable test. And that is important to see whether somebody got infected by the virus. And that will allow us two things. First, it will enable us to monitor the development of infections. And second, it will allow us to monitor whether people achieved immunity from the infection.
Well, Severin, let's start. I want to go to the immunity piece first, because there's so much interest, obviously, in finding out if people have immunity. Are we convinced that if you've had COVID, that you have immunity, and for how long?
It's a new virus, and as such, we do not have robust data yet. But it's very likely that people who got infected also develop immunity, at least for a certain time, because we see that also happening with other coronaviruses.
We're also hearing about reports of all sorts of tests that are flooding the market, many which have been coming from China. Similar antibody tests were sent to the UK, and a lot of them don't work. How should the public and the health community think about these tests and whether, A, to take them, and B, what the result actually means?
This is actually a big topic, and unfortunately a number of antibody tests which are already on the market are not reliable. And the simple reason is that you have to take enough time and validate these tests with patients. That's what we have done. We are now very confident to bring a highly reliable test to the market beginning of May.
How quickly does the test come back? And talk about the scale in terms of how quickly you can scale this test up, given how many people are going to need and want to take it.
That's a very important point. And unlike with molecular tests, which directly measure the virus and where upscaling is a big topic, with antibody tests, actually the scaling is much easier from a technical point of view. Plus, there is an enormous installed base of instruments and platforms out there. So we will be able to scale up quickly. As far as Roche is concerned, we will produce in the double millions already in June. In
June, several million. Does it scale? I don't want to say does it scale like COVID?
It's actually
when you think about where we could be in September, for example.
No, already in June we will be. Already in June, we will produce in the high double millions. So this is really enormous upscaling. And we are not the only company who will be able to offer reliable antibody tests. So this will make a big difference.
And to take this test, you'll have to go to a doctor? Is this something that you could do at home? How easy is it? How quick is it?
No, you have to draw blood. So typically you would go to the doctor, or a nurse would take the blood and then send it to the lab.
And how quickly typically does it come back?
As far as the testing time as such is concerned on our platforms, the test is performed in a few hours. But then, of course, you also have to take care of the logistics. I would say typically you should have the result the next day.
And what is the cost of the test?
We have not yet communicated pricing for our test, but in such a pandemic situation, pricing will not be any hurdle for access. So we cannot comment then on the final price, because there's also a lot of cost by the lab itself. But as far as our price is concerned, it will not be not be a hurdle to access.